Hey guys, I just woke up from napping. It's a little nap. I think it was like an hour. But anyway, I got the prompt to the call, whatever you want to call it, to turn my camera on here and um, just be like super casual with this, and just hold my phone, not try and set it up on anything, and just talk like this, which it's not like even if I have it propped up and angled the other way, like sitting the other way, like horizontal instead of vertical, it wouldn't be anything fancy. But that's kind of the point of this, which um, what I'm getting prompted to talk about, or the call to talk about, is quote unquote how I'm not just me, but there's my foot's getting tickled. Thank you. First of all, remembering everything is helpful and it's all playing out the way it's meant to. It's all helpful. It's all lessons and metaphors and keys, reminders, all that stuff. With that being said, getting that call to talk about breaking the mold of mediumship in the spiritual community. um, and part of that is, there's reason why, my foot's getting tickled again. Thank you. Um, there's which is, and the foot tickling is confirmation of what I'm receiving, so thank you. There's reason why I've got just my little cell phone, and I either set it up on blankets or a stack of books or I hold it in my hand. I don't have anything fancy. I've got my small little apartment that's essentially underground. I don't have anywhere to sit outside to film. I don't have means to really go anywhere. If I'm busing or paying for busing, it's for places I really need to be going to, because money, I'm in the illusion of money being tight and stuff, but it's all for a reason. Because my main job right now is to be focusing in and working on myself and my mental cleanup and taking responsibility over the fact that it's a dream I'm making up. But then in the role playing game, showing like there's an aspect which a friend of mine kind of gave me a deeper click in. I've kind of felt this myself, but he gave me a deeper click in and kind of confirmation on what I've been feeling, that we're not to judge it. AI is all I. It's a reflection of the oneness. We are, in a sense, AI, even though we're not, we're energy, but in that sense of like, none of this is real. Like, we're all imagining, we're like, this is all a role playing game. And one metaphor that you could say is this is like a computer simulation, right? So, with that being said, we're not to judge it. Everything's helpful. We're one with it. There's also a level where people are, which my friend kind of said it in different words, but in a way that he said it in different words, but something that I've been receiving myself, which is there's a level where people are going to be looking for more of that authentic, raw type stuff online, like the way YouTube used to be, or way videos used to be, because everyone's going to get sick of all the filtered out shit, which is what most of social media does right now. Again, not wrong or bad. It's just right now, most people and most social media, including with the spiritual community mediums, filter themselves out literally and figuratively. They filter, they use an ego filter to give messages calling it spirit, and a lot not even realizing that's what they're doing, because they haven't done the self-work to understand what it is that they are doing, and recognizing where they are allowing their ego filter to filter through the messages from spirit. But then also, that figurative filter, making sure that they're in these, driving around in their car or out in nature, and they've got their filters on, their cameras on, they've got these fancy camera setups, and they pay for editing programs, and it's and they make it give it a certain aesthetic, which, again, we're not to judge. It's not wrong or bad. It's just that level of where I'm getting the call to just turn my camera on. I'm, even without anything fancy, without filtering myself out, like, first of all, it's just easier for me because I don't want anything in my illusion past where I feel like I fucked up to come back and bite me in the ass. So it's just easier for me to just be honest rather than try and hide like most people do. I honestly don't know how people don't live in anxiety, how people don't live in anxiety every day by working publicly on social media and hiding their shit and acting one way on camera and another way behind the scenes. I don't. Oh, the anxiety. And now again, illusion, gameplay anxiety, but still. So there's that. But then also, um, sorry. So yeah, so it's this level of I get this call to do this because this is where we're going to start turning more and more toward. We're going to start understanding and remembering we never needed the filters and we can't hide. We can still be playful with them, and I feel like we still will be playful, but it's going to start coming through more and more of this type of authenticity. Now going off of that, focusing in on things that like the filters when it comes to what's talked about when it comes to mediumship and the spiritual community. I know that this is stuff that I kind of talk about a lot, but I'm getting the call to bring it up again. Breaking the mold in mediumship. Also, when it comes to, like I said, what is being said that is being claimed to be spirit. So, for example, I had someone reach out to me today asking for me to join their Facebook page, which I didn't. I won't join. I pretty much won't join any groups or pages when it comes to pretty much anything, but especially the spiritual community. I've learned my lessons on that. I have my own Facebook group that I run. And as much as I can get my ego running when it comes to numbers because it makes me feel worthless and pointless and why do I try, blah, blah, blah. I understand I'm running off of ego and there's a reason why my numbers aren't where they are. And I also understand at the end of the day, numbers aren't anything. And really it's all for myself because there's only myself and God and I am God. Like not Tally, but what I truly am outside of this, which is where I'm actually at because I'm not even in here doing this. So with that being said, I told them, like, I'm not going to, and these are my reasons why. I know it's a reflection of my resistance, but with that being said, no, and whatnot. And I had mentioned about, because they had said about new age stuff and spreading that to my Facebook friends, and I was just like, it's not new age, it's the truth has always been here, and whatnot. And they ended up responding saying, using the label of we can use the label of new age. Absolutely, we can use that label, but it's the intention behind it. And if there's the intention of saying new age in the sense that we're remembering now, so it looks like it's new and we're coming into this new earth, sure. But the truth is, it's not actually new. It's always been here. We're just remembering it and we're allowing. And that new earth, that Christ-like consciousness, what we truly are, again, has always been here. We've just chosen to block and resist and forget. So, and I just say this is exactly why I won't follow your page. I understand it's my reflections, but I'm not going to follow. This is exactly why I won't follow your page. And I utilized my tool of boundaries and I did block the person, which is fine. And I did do mental cleanup on it and I will continue to do as such. But that's one point right here that I got the call to talk about is truth has always been here. Anyone saying that's just a reflection of our own ego resistance to that truth. The truth has always, always, always been here. I mean, if we need to look at the illusion of linear time and one illusioned part of our past and one illusion role play game, we can look at like Yeshua or Buddha. They were reflections speaking with some ego filter still, but reflections speaking of how, we're one. We are that Christ-like consciousness. It was all to show us what we actually are. That spans back centuries, right? Millennia. I mean, if you want a more human scientific end of things, Einstein and Tesla, how long ago were they alive in this? The information's always been here. It's just been filtered through ego and we choose to block and resist, and that's it. So another thing that has been popping up, one second. Another thing that's been popping up that I'm getting the call to talk about is where people are talking about what it's like if spirit's in the room with you, what it feels like, and and what it might look like, or whatever. Or what the things that they've learned by being a medium, and things like how we're greeted in certain ways when we cross over onto the other side. That again, this is where, and this is one reason why, again, I haven't had the numbers, because I have blasted up past those points, and I am now, again, it's not that I'm actually above anyone or anything. Technically, we're all in the same space. My knowing is your knowing is my knowing. It's my illusion perception that an other doesn't get it. There is no other, and everyone gets it. We are one. With that being said, I used to cling to those gameplays, but I have moved up and past them. There is a level where I still cling to them. However, when I say I move up and past them, I know what the truth actually is above that, like what the truth actually is, and not even above that, what the truth actually is. And I'm working on anchoring onto that more and more, and letting go of the illusion story gameplay. So the truth actually is, it's not a matter of what does it feel like when there's all of a sudden a spirit in the room with you. All is with all always, all the time. Everyone is here with you now, including the role-playing game of galactics and fairies and all that stuff. Everyone, all is here right now. And we have the ability. I have friends who are incarnated, because what's incarnation? Also, that's another thing. There is no incarnation or reincarnation. That's saying that we have put ourselves into something and we are re-putting ourselves into something. But that's just it. We're home now. And inside ourself is, it's the ego construct machine, which is like basically essentially God's imagination. That's all this is. We are God, and we're just imagining. It's the ego lie construct imagination that we're melting away right now. So with that being said, all is right here, right now, always. There is no here versus there and over there and here and like outside of this and inside of this. Absolutely not. Spirit doesn't just, because they say if you all of a sudden think about if you all of a sudden have a thought of them, then all of a sudden you know that they're there with you. They're always there. You had the thought because you chose to have the thought. You're choosing to allow. And then they started, there'll be like a list of things saying, I came across a reel just now where she was listing off, like, first, you're going to have a thought about them, and then it's going to feel like someone's watching you. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. There is no 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. Absolutely not. There are often times where, like, I started off, like, yes, before I hit my awakening, I could physically feel that there was a spirit presence, or I would feel like someone's watching me. I've had those moments, but I've also had those moments where, with the physical touching, when it started to get strong, rather than just feeling like an energy over, like, say, the bottom of my feet, it started to feel like there was, like, insects crawling on my arms, and I'd swipe, and I'd look, and, like, there'd be nothing there, and I'd wipe my arm, and I'm like, there's nothing there. And now it feels like full-on tickles. I'll sit here without even thinking of anyone or anything, not feeling like there's anyone around me, not feeling like anyone's watching me, and all of a sudden I'll get tickled, or I'll feel my hand being held, even with people I've got, like I was saying just a few moments ago, I have friends who are in this right now who particularly, like, I've friends who I'm still actively friends with, but one particular friend of mine who's been very close, like one of my best friends for over 20 years, and we are within the illusion gameplay right now. We are no longer friends. It's within the illusion of pain. I am extremely hurt by what this person has said about me and what they think I have been trying to do to them. It's a big reason why, I honor and thank them, because big lessons on why I do not cling to the ego lies of things like demons are real and all this other shit that I'm talking about. Because when you do, that's when we get into things like psychosis and how she's running. And, like, I honor her because she taught me through what she's choosing to navigate through, why I do not want to navigate and cling on to these ego lies. Anyway, this friend, we are not friends anymore. We don't talk. And I have, since we stopped being friends, I have physically felt her hold my hand, and I've heard her speak to me in my head. She is right here with me right now. Even though it looks like our characters aren't friends and that she lives in a different part of the city, like she lives away from me and we don't see each other and we don't talk, that's the illusion character. What she actually is here with me right now, and I physically feel her touching me, and I'll hear her talking to me in my head. So it's not a matter of, you know, it's this step and then this step and then this step. Absolutely not. Energy, spirit, what that we are one with plays as we allow it. They shine through the way we allow. And then they talk about how, you know, they can come through in certain ways with certain people or things. Well, what we truly are is everything, and it's up to ourselves to allow what we truly are to shine through ourselves, and then we project that out and have that reflect back. And another way of saying that is to allow what we truly, it's up to ourselves to allow what we truly are to shine through everyone and everything, but that everyone and everything is oneself. You know, people still talk about demons are real and evil is real. It's not real. And when you cling to the illusion belief that it's real, that is why we experience things like demons attacking, because you believe that they're real and you're choosing to believe that. But the moment you start accepting and even having the willingness to even just have that thought of, maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe it's not actually real, even just that right there is just that little tiny opening to start showing you it's not actually real, it's something you're making up. They're metaphors of our own illusion, shadow, ego, false evidence appearing real. That's all that it is. And it's a gift because it helps us face that so we can embrace it and then do the work to melt it away. Go within and do that mental cleanup. So it's the look of mediumship and the spiritual community is going to start changing. Everything that's being said has been said for a reason. Everything has been helpful. We're not to judge it. With that, this is why I also talk about, you know, it doesn't matter how many subscribers or followers or clients or whatever someone has. It doesn't matter how much evidence a medium brings in. None of that matters, because what are they actually saying? What are the messages that they're actually pulling through? It doesn't matter how famous a medium is, or if they have 100,000 followers or 1 million followers or 40 million followers, or if they are a medium to the celebrities. It doesn't matter. Because again, like I've said in my other videos, even with evidence, it doesn't matter. Evidence doesn't matter. Illusion will always prove illusion. And through illusion, you can bring up stuff that someone knows that they've never told anybody before. And how could you know that? So spirit must have told you. Yeah, sure. And spirit can and will pull through, you know, metaphors within the illusion to help us. But unless it's loving, it's not real. So sure, you might get a piece of evidence from a medium because like you've never told anyone that and the medium brought it through. That's great. But that doesn't prove that all the messages that the medium is saying along with that are real. If it's not loving, it's not real. I have had plenty of people in the spiritual community try and tell me things like, I've got all these negative portals around me, and Eric is a demon and a shade, and he's trying to attack me, that I've got all this negative energy around me, that I'm mentally ill, that I'm psychotic, you know, all this stuff. I've had many people, including, and some of that is people who, in my ego judgment, I want to say too many, because nobody should be respecting these people. A lot of people respect and hold up high and love and think that they're really legitimate, good mediums. But then they pull through that crap, and it's not real and it's not true. Everything is helpful and not to judge it. With that being said, getting messages like that and my clinging to those messages, thinking that that's what spirit was telling me this was real, sent me through the illusion of chaos. It was absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. You know, I mean, the whole illusion is insanity. I'm just focusing in on that. It was crazy. And it spun me into looking and sounding crazier and crazier and crazier until finally, I had my friend Julie come into my life, like I've talked about many times before, giving me that deeper click in of, hang on, And I already I already knew of energy follows thought, but she gave me that deeper click in of, hang on, energy follows thought. Everything is energy. Energy can't be broken. That means everything outside of myself I'm one with. So everything outside myself is playing as I'm allowing it. Holy shit. And then she started helping me work through my mental cleanup. And we've been doing that for years now. And I'm starting to, receive the changes within myself for that. So again, everything is helpful, and going through that taught me lessons and helped me through those lessons, helped me to remember more of what's actually real and true. But it also, through those lessons, also taught me why it's important not to be clinging to these things like they are real and true, like the ego lies. So, and it's all really a matter of keeping it simple, because again, a lot of mediums and a lot of spiritual community are basically going to give you all these formulas and all this advice and jumping through hoops to do this and do that, and burning things and cleaning things, and paying for this and paying for that, and going here and going there, and this is doing this to you, and that's doing this to you, and this is affecting you, and that's affecting you, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and you got to eat certain foods, and you got to do certain things in certain ways. It's all not just just stop, breathe, keep it simple. It's so simple. Like, it's, to the ego, it's going to look and sound complicated, especially if we try to understand. Like, there's things about the truth of what everything is that I don't understand. Like, I know God is love. What we truly are is God, and God is love. But it's not a feeling. God doesn't feel. It's emotionless. So then I go, I don't understand how God is loving because I know that love is, God is, it is love. It's the isness of everything. But I don't understand how that's loving if it doesn't feel love. But that's where I hit a wall, and I understand I can't comprehend that right now, and that's okay. Right? Another thing I don't understand is how we are one and God is one. There is no other. However, we also don't feel alone. I don't understand that. I feel like within that oneness, it's like I can feel that there's a Tally and there's a Yeshua and there's a so-and-so. But at the exact same time, the Tally and the Yeshua and all of that doesn't actually exist. So that's where I still hit a wall, because I don't understand, but that's okay. With that being said, we can keep it simple. It's a dream we're making up, an illusion, whatever you want to label it. We are home now. We are just imagining that we're not. We're not even here doing this. If it's not loving, it's not real. If it doesn't feel good and if it's not loving, it's opportunity to embrace it and fully feel it, and then go within and do the mental cleanup. If it is loving, and if it's a reflection of what we truly are, then that's a moment to sit with it and let ourselves expand on it. Again, expansion, just a word. We are fully expanded already. There is no expansion in what we truly are. Yeah, and then continue to work on being the gratitude that we are, following love and joy, working on surrendering. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And we just allow. By doing that, we just allow. So, again, even with this whole thing with like Reiki and paying people to heal you, and having to go to like people going to Mount Shasta or Egypt or all these other different places, it's, again, we're not to judge, everything's helpful, but none of that's needed. Everyone is signing up to become a Reiki master. What's a Reiki master? First of all, there is no master over anyone or anything, and you're not healing anybody, and we're not here to focus in on healing other people. In the illusion gameplay, we do, and everything is helpful, but we remember that it was never about an other, and actually looking to someone or something outside of ourselves to save us or heal us helps us keep perpetuating the loop of illusion of suffering. It's one of the big things that causes that illusion of suffering. So this whole thing, this whole thing about everyone wanting to be a Reiki master and wanting to heal their people and other things, that's going to start to melt away and or change. More of the truth is going to reflect through that, where more and more people, when my foot's getting massaged and tickled right now as I'm saying this, thank you, as we start to remember more, because waking is just we're asleep, we're dreaming, and and the waking up is remembering that this is a dream and that we're actually God, and there is nothing and no one outside of ourselves. And as we remember this more and more, the look of even Reiki is going to change, because it's going to start being more and more where people aren't going, I'm a Reiki master, and if you come to me, I can heal you and I can activate things in you. And people aren't going to start talking about Reiki masters saying that they healed me and they did this, and they absolutely not. That's going to start changing. It's going to start reflecting more of the truth, which is, it's just being a guide to help that person allow what's real to take over, help that person help themselves to allow what's real to take over and surrender what's not real. And that's all. And then the recognition from the person doing the guiding, that whatever they see in that client or whoever is a reflection of what's within themselves, and vice versa. Recognizing that we are one and that there is no other. And we're all just mirroring each other because we are one. We're not separate. So again, this mold of what the spiritual community and mediumship has looked like is breaking right now. And again, I'm not the only one. There are other people out there that are tapping into this stuff and, operating this way and allowing more of truth to shine through and speaking that way. If people are coming to me as a client, you might get some zoomed out answers, but with that, you'll always get the zoomed out truth. And you're never going to, through me, have spirit sit here and indulge in untruth and conspiracy theories and all that stuff, because it's not real. And I've worked really hard on myself to be able to decipher, differentiate, recognize where I'm allowing ego to speak versus what spirit's saying. Now I know I'm always using a filter, because what we are is truly beyond words. With that being said, I also recognize now where that ego filter is kicking in, when and where the ego filter is kicking in, and what's actually being said, what the truth is underneath what's being said. So all is with all always. Spirit doesn't cling to special occasions or anything like that. There is no special occasion or anything like that. Spirit is with all always. All is with all always. Can't not be. Everyone and everything is God. It can't not be. We're not separate. No one is healing anyone. There is nothing to heal anyway. It's all an illusion gameplay. Everything is helpful. We are letting go now of all stories, including any story of any kind of victimization. And victimization says that there's something in someone outside of myself that can save me and or heal me and or help me, that there is something wrong happening. This is a dream I'm making up. Victimization story is saying something is evil and is attacking me. Victimization story is saying there's demons and they're controlling this. Victimization story is saying the government's controlling this. Victimization story is saying this is the matrix, is something outside of myself keeping me trapped here. All victimization stories. None of it's real. None of it's true. Let it go now. I still cling to them. Absolutely. I'm holding on to the illusion of hurt and pain over certain shit. But I know what it is now, and I am working on it as best I can. I have my days where I resist all fucking day, and I'm angry and I'm pissed off, but by the end of the night, I always at least once do some form of mental cleanup. Every day. And that's the way through and out of this. Embracing where we're at, taking responsibility, going within, and doing the mental cleanup, surrendering. Period. Everything is helpful, and we've got the temporary band-aid solutions. But if you really want to let go of the illusion and the illusion of suffering and all that stuff, you got to get to the root of the problem, the cause of the illusion. And what's the root and the cause? Making up an ego lie, believing the ego lie, then we get the ego lie feeling that goes with that, then we project that out and have it reflect back. So how do we get to the root of the illusion? By going within and doing the mental cleanup on it. You can burn all the sage you want, but that's not doing the thought work. You can do all the Reiki you want, but that's not doing the thought work. You can do all the past life regression you want, but that's not doing the thought work. Sorry, not sorry. That's not thought work. It's a temporary band-aid solution, and I am going to stop being afraid of saying that out loud because I'm so afraid of upsetting people. I've got people pissed off at me when I call them out, which again, I shouldn't be calling anyone out, but when I do call out spiritual community or anybody for this stuff, they get uppity in tension, and I need to stop being done. I need to be done caring about that. I don't care anymore. If you want to be pissed off, be pissed off. It's a reflection of my own shit, and I recognize that, and I'll work it off, and I'll work on it myself anyway. But the truth is, Reiki's not a thing, guys. Burning sage isn't a thing. Past life regression isn't a thing. Is everything helpful? Yes. Does it give temporary band-aid solutions? Yes. Do all paths lead home on a certain level? Absolutely, because everything is helpful. But don't think for 1 second that doing that work is actually getting to the root of the cause of the illusion, because it's not. Because you're not doing, unless you're doing the thought work with it, it's a temporary band-aid solution. That's it. It gives you a temporary boost, and then you get the drop down because you got an ego, want, and need fulfilled. It's ego sitting here saying you need to burn sage in order to clear energy. It's ego to say that there's a past life or parallel life that's affecting you right now. Yes, it's all connected, but it doesn't matter what happened. What matters is how you feel about it. Sure, you can go back and reenact it all and whatnot, but did you work on how you feel about it? Did you work on your thoughts on it? No? Well, guess what? You didn't really do anything until you're working on your thoughts. Sorry, not sorry. I know I'm sounding harsh and kind of blunt, but again, I'm really tapping into right now, and I'm going to keep working on anchoring on this, expanding it. I just don't care. And it's not in a angry kind of ego way. It just really hit me right now. I don't care what people think of me, and that's a good thing. I don't care what people think of me and what I'm saying, because I know what I'm speaking is true. And if you don't like it, go work on yourself over not liking it. And if I'm bothered over the fact you don't like it, then I need to work on myself over that. But this is what the truth is. Sorry, not sorry. You're not healing anybody. Sorry, not sorry. Reiki is a temporary band-aid solution. Burning sage is a temporary band-aid solution. Past life regression is a temporary band-aid solution. Energy healing. Oh my God. All of that is just huge ego lies. There is no energy to heal. There is no energy to clear. There is no energy that is negative. There are no portals. What are even portals? Portals are also part of the illusion. Oh my God. Portals aren't even real. There's someone, she blocked me on Facebook because she ended up in this country and sick, saying that she's working on this negative portal in this country and it's made her really sick. And I was just like, And I know, again, I'm working on not saying anything, but I'm just like, yeah, no, there's no negative portal, because there's not. She's choosing to believe that there was a negative portal that she was choosing to clear out, and then she chose to believe that it made her sick. She didn't have to go through any of that. What are portals? Because all is here right now, always. I'm in the illusion of portals, right over, like, yeah, over here, actually, like just across the room from me, which is just what, like not even 5 feet away from me ish, is I've got a vent there, and it's a portal. There's a whole thing where a friend of mine had seen, sorry, my nose ring, a friend of mine had a moment in the astral where she had came into my apartment, and it was through a portal in my wall in this area, and I was like, dude, my vent's there. She didn't know that. So I'm playing with the illusion that there's a portal right there, but I also know it's so silly. It's me. I'm like, why am I doing that? Because I know there is, what is a portal? Like, spirit, galactic, whatever you want to call it, they don't need quote unquote portals. Like, they're right here. They're right here. They don't need a portal. There is no limitation to that. I make up the limitation. I chose for their portal be a portal. I chose for the illusion of a portal to be there for my illusion of limitation and my illusion of blocking. And I can even feel how it makes me feel safe that they have to go through a portal. There is no portal. It's my illusion gameplay. So yeah, it's this whole thing. The real truth of this is it's all coming. Everything that we're navigating through is coming from thoughts that we're choosing to believe. Those thoughts, then we believe those thoughts, and then they give us a feeling, and we roll with that. And we have every ability to go within and do the mental cleanup on that and change it. And that's what we are doing right now. So yeah, again, we're not to judge. Everything is helpful. With that, we are breaking the mold of mediumship right now, and it is going to start changing. I have heard increasingly more so people talking about how they just don't join groups anymore, or the groups that they have joined is specifically a certain one I'm thinking of right now, that they've unsubscribed, or they don't listen to it. It's not the same. They're not resonating with it anymore. It's just so much illusion and ego going off. And more people are going to start recognizing that. Like I said, it doesn't matter how many followers or how famous the person is. What matters is what's the message coming through. It doesn't even like with myself, like looking at mediums who look chaotic and messy like myself. It doesn't matter how chaotic and messy they look. What are the messages coming through? You know, my older videos, I know I've given out messages that are definitely more ego filtered. And I know I still have my ego filter that I'm working on. But like I said, I've made progress, and I know better now. Still have work to do on myself, but I've come a long way. so so yeah. Anyway, I just, like I said, I got the call prompt to talk about this. Um I know, and I've said this before in my other videos, I know I sound repetitive, but it's for a reason. It's because these things are what the truth is. And I know that the role I'm playing, it's not to be here to keep indulging in the illusion ego lies like it's real and true. I'm not here for that. We're not here for that anymore at all in general. But as me, as this character, as Tally, my role here is to, right now, my job, in general, and right now my job is like taking responsibility of the fact this is a dream I'm making up, doing my mental cleanup, like I said earlier. But then in the role playing game of myself and quote unquote others, um, you know, I'm here to speak the truth and not indulge in the ego lies. That's just not what I'm here for anymore, especially because now I know what indulging in those things does, particularly if I'm doing my work on myself and allowing myself to quote unquote blast up. I will not let myself go into psychosis and bounce myself in and out of the psych ward thinking that my loved ones are trying to transition me and all this other stuff. It's absolute insanity. And I refuse to, again, also cling on to, these ego lies, because I won't let myself be in the illusion of being attacked by by different types of beings, because it doesn't have to be that way, because it's all gameplay. It's not real. Everything is loving. So yeah, this is what I'm here for. And so I know I'm repetitive, but this is what I'm here for. This is the role I'm playing. So yeah. All right, that's long enough. I didn't mean to talk this long, but it's this long for a reason. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. If you did stick around and listen to all of this. And yeah, I'm gonna keep working on myself. I can promise that. Keep on keeping on. So all right, thanks you guys for everything. I love you, and as always, have a wonderful now.